When I first walked into Drive, Rebecca Miller's office, I didn't think my life was worth fixing. My name is Emily Sanders, I'm 31 years old, and at that time, I was barely holding myself together. The walls of her office were soft shades of blue, and there was always the faint scent of lavender in the air. I didn't want to be there, but deep down, I knew I needed help. My mother had suggested therapy after my long-term boyfriend, Michael, and I broke up unexpectedly. It wasn't a dramatic breakup, no yelling or betrayal, just a slow drift that ended with a quiet, "I think we've grown apart." But it left me shattered. I had built my life around him, and when he walked away, I didn't recognize myself anymore. The first few sessions with Dr. Miller were uncomfortable. I didn't know what to say. I remember sitting there, picking at my nails while she asked gentle questions. "What do you feel when you wake up in the morning?" she asked one day. I wanted to say, "Nothing." Instead, I shrugged. "I feel tired." She smiled softly, like she understood more than my words admitted. Over time, something about her calm voice made me trust her. She didn't pressure me to talk about things I wasn't ready to share. Instead, she guided me through memories, childhood moments, early friendships, and even the things I was most ashamed of. Slowly, the walls I built began to crumble. One rainy afternoon, I finally broke down. "I don't think I'm worth saving," I confessed through tears. Dr. Miller leaned forward, her expression full of compassion. "Emily, sometimes the hardest person to forgive is ourselves. But you are worth saving, because you are still here, still trying." Those words stayed with me. For the first time in months, I felt something stir inside me, hope. Weeks passed, and therapy became the one constant thing I could rely on. I started journaling, something Drive Miller suggested. Every morning, I wrote 3 things I was grateful for. At first, it felt forced, but eventually, I began to notice small joys again: the smell of coffee, the warmth of sunlight, the laughter of a coworker. Dr. Miller introduced me to mindfulness meditation. I resisted at first, thinking it was silly. But when I tried sitting quietly, focusing on my breath, I realized how chaotic my mind was, and how much peace came from simply pausing. There was one session I'll never forget. She asked me, "If you could talk to the version of yourself who feels lost, what would you say to her?" I closed my eyes and imagined that broken version of me sitting on the floor, crying. I whispered, "You're doing your best. You'll get through this." Tears streamed down my face, but for the first time, they weren't just from pain, they were from release. As weeks turned into months, I began noticing real changes. I reconnected with old friends, started jogging in the mornings, and even joined a local art class. Life didn't suddenly become perfect, but I started feeling like I had control again. Then, one day, Drive Miller shared something personal. "You know, I became a therapist because I was once where you are," she said softly. "Someone helped me find my way back, and now it's my turn to do the same for others." That moment changed everything. It reminded me that healing wasn't about being flawless, it was about being human. A few months later, Drive Miller suggested we gradually end our sessions. It felt bittersweet, but I knew she was right. She had given me tools, not dependency. Before our final session ended, I brought her a small thank you gift, a framed watercolor painting of a sunrise I had made in my art class. "You helped me find my light again," I told her. She smiled, eyes glistening. "You found it yourself, Emily. I just helped you see it." I walked out of her office that day into the afternoon sun, breathing deeply, feeling alive in a way I hadn't in years. Months later, I volunteered to speak at a community mental health event. Standing on stage, I shared my story. My voice trembled at first, but then I remembered Drive Miller's words, "You are worth saving." I told the audience how therapy didn't erase my pain, but it taught me how to live with it, how to grow through it, and how to help others who might be walking through the same darkness. After my talk, a young woman approached me, tears in her eyes. "I've been scared to see a therapist," she said. "But after hearing you, I think I'll make an appointment." That moment filled me with gratitude so deep I could hardly speak. Maybe this was the unexpected way my therapist had saved me, not just by helping me heal, but by helping me find purpose again. Today, I still keep that lavender-scented candle in my living room. It reminds me of her office and how far I've come. I still have rough days, but I no longer see them as proof of weakness. Instead, they're reminders of how much strength it takes to keep showing up. Because healing isn't a straight line, it's a journey. And thanks to Dr. Miller, I'm finally walking it with my head held high.